Well, that by-election has since been suspended by INEC, but as you'd expect, there are questions as to how did elections turn violent, especially after the assurances given by INEC, the police, that this will be a different one entirely from what we have seen in the past. And as you've seen there, we'll be joined this morning by Senator Abiodun Olujimi, a member representing Ekiti South constituency. You saw her speaking about the attack just a moment ago in that report, as well as the Commissioner of Police in Ekiti State, Mr. Tunde Mobayo. He joins us virtually this morning from Akure via Zoom. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on Sunrise Daily. I mean, we've seen the reports, but it's never like those who were on ground. So if you could just, as a backgrounder, really, what exactly played out over the weekend in Ekiti State? Okay, Commissioner, if you can hear me, I'm trying to get a background for the benefit of those, who, of course, who are not in Ekiti State, who, I mean, the best they have probably seen media reports and visuals coming in from there. But you were on ground. So tell us, what exactly played out? And regarding casualty, what is the number we have precisely? Okay, seems we were having difficulty clearly reaching out to the Commissioner of Police in Ekiti State, Mr. Tunde Mobayo. But not to worry, we'll try to reestablish connection just to get a sense of what is being done. You know, INEC has suspended the by-election. The police says there will be full investigation. The governor of Ekiti State has also condemned the attack. He has visited, you know, families of the victims of that election violence. But a lot of questions arise. Prior to this time, they signed a peace pact, right? The political parties signed a peace pact, and you'll expect that after the signing of peace pact, there will be abiding by the content of that peace pact, especially because they appended their signatures to it. So how did this go from signing a peace pact to not just breaking that peace pact, but actually killing people during the election? It's a lot of questions.
It's very, very sad and most unexpected. Just 2 years ago, we were talking about all of this immediately after the general elections, and there's been a lot of talk about, you know, reorganizing our electoral system to ensure that these things don't go on the way they have gone on, you know. But one other thing that we'll find in the report, and hopefully when we have the commissioner, he might be able to give us a background. That didn't we know that this was going to happen? You know, I always like to reference that data compiled by, I forgot the name of the CSO now, about areas or states in which electoral violence is likely. One of the things that they said that was, you know, Ekiti is one of the amber lights, not the red lights. The amber lights, you know, risk areas. So consequently, there was a suspicion that such a thing could happen. How much of that did we know before the day of the election? It's also rumored that, you know, the PDP candidate, well, in the election, his house was attacked the day before. So, is the police aware of this? You know, were these signs that could have helped us to get ahead of the story? Of course, the APC has also, you know, been responding. We try to reach the APC in the states as well, but we understand that because the governor has called for an investigation, officials are saying that they're not going to say anything since the governor has already stepped in. So, you know, hopefully in the nearest future, we'll be hearing from them as well. So this is really, really disturbing. We have, over the years, seen a gradual decrease in the number of people who come out to vote. Voter apathy, lack of trust in government, and now this. These are the products of it. So I'm just wondering how far we can, for how long we can take this.
A vital question, because I mean, elections rather rise and fall on security. So let's rejoin the Commissioner of Police in Ekiti State, Mr. Tunde Mobayo, who joins us virtually this morning. So, Commissioner, great to have you joining us. Let's get some, you know, background, as I asked earlier, for the benefit of those who were not in Ekiti State. What exactly played out? And regarding casualties, what can you tell us?
Thank you very much. Good morning. And thank you for having me. Please,
Good morning.
First of all, I would like to commiserate with the victims and their families. of the affected people, and those still in the hospital for God to give them a quick recovery. It happened that on Saturday by 11:30, when the votes was being rounded up at various polling booths, a distress call was received from INEC that there was a problem at Unit 7, Ward 7. So when my policemen got there, they discovered that one fellow was being beaten and he was almost naked. So the police rescued him to safety because he was almost beaten to a pulp. After rescuing this fellow, the policemen came back to do their work. Surprisingly, from nowhere, this person that was initially rescued came rushing down with a pump action gun and started firing sporadically to the crowd. So many people were injured in the process. So the police chased this fellow, ran after him, and got him arrested. Immediately it was done, I was called. And almost immediately also, His Excellency called me and told me what he had has happened there. And he gave a directive that those people that were involved in that act must be arrested, rounded up, and prosecuted, no matter the party affiliation. So in the process, 3 of them were arrested. However, before the incident, I don't know if you are hearing me.
Please go ahead. We can hear you.
Yeah, thank you. However, before the incident, Senator Olujime has called me in the morning that he noticed some movement of some people that are not needed in that area. I directed my policemen to go around because we have policemen in all the polling units. We have the policemen that are patrolling. We have the policemen that are stationed at area commander's office in case of eventuality. So I now send additional 4 policemen to Senator Olujime's house, and I call her. She acknowledged and thanked me very well. So when I arrested these people, I brought them immediately to the police station. That's the CID. That Saturday, I called the officer in charge of CID that he should start immediately the investigation. And I placed call across to the Senator Olujime that he should please assist us with evidence, with witnesses. And I dispatched policemen, investigators to her place to collect statement from the witnesses.
Right.
That one has been done, and the investigation is ongoing. This morning, when I get to the office, the perpetrators eventually will be arraigned at the court.
Okay.
Then yesterday...
Just to be clear, I mean, now that the dust seems to be settling, have you put a figure to the number of casualties regarding the dead and the injured? Because there were conflicting figures regarding that.
Yes, actually, His Excellency and myself, we went to Omu yesterday to commiserate with the families of the victims. So far, 2 people lost their lives, unfortunately, in the incident. Then we proceeded to the various hospitals where others have been treated. We visited 5 people on admission, receiving a treatment. And some of the people that were affected on that day, I think they were treated and discharged. Those are people that their wounds are not all that serious.
Well, maybe you want to tell us, what's the number of people that have been arrested, and are there any leanings that one can say, okay, this is where these people are from?
Currently, I have 3 people in my custody. And as soon as I get to the office this morning again, we work on additional information that should be not. They are not even supposed to be. They are not indigenous of that particular environment. So what they are doing there, I don't know. And the unfortunate thing is that the people that were injured caused across party lines. They called across party lines because the man just came out.
We didn't quite hear the number of people that you said were arrested. Could you please take that again? How many people have been arrested, and where are they from?
Shooting.
Oh dear. Well, it's
We need to arrest this, connection issue because, just at the point where he's about to tell us just how many people have been arrested.
He actually said it, but the glitches didn't
Yeah.
allow us to quite hear. But the interesting angle of what he mentioned, that some of those people were not from the state and that they probably didn't have political leanings, is very, very interesting. So one would need to find out on whose invitation did they come into the state to disrupt a peaceful protest.
Yes, I think it's important for us to get this closure, really, because time and again we hear about attacks, disruption of elections, snatching of ballot boxes, sadly, shootings and killings. And eventually arrests are made, sometimes not made, but this time we've made arrests. So we need to ensure we follow that trail to where it leads to on whose tab did this happen? So, well, we have a commissioner back now.
Well, yes. Could you please go ahead, tell us the number of people that have been arrested and where are they from? Just those thoughts. I don't know what was wrong with the network at the time. Please go ahead.
Yes, like I've said, I have 3 people in custody that will appear in court this morning. And when I get to the office, I will invite the OC CID. If you have additional names, we work on them. And equally, I will use this medium to please inform people that have useful information about any other person that are yet to be arrested who are involved to please come forward and give us such names so that we can work on them, please.
Did you also say that the people that have been arrested were not from the state?
No, I mean, they are not from Umu. They are not even supposed to be there to even vote. If they are eligible voters, that is not even their unit where they are supposed to vote. On that day, they are not supposed to be there.
Well, the natural thoughts in people's minds would be, this is a political hatchet job. Some political interests, were being served. Is that something you can confirm or you're still investigating?
No, actually, investigation will show that one. And then, like I've said, whoever, those people that are involved, wherever they are, whichever party they belong to, if I have that information, definitely I will get them arrested and prosecuted accordingly.
Okay, Commissioner, now regarding security at the polling units, I think it's something worth getting some clarification on. So just how well secure were those polling units? Because I know prior to the elections, you had promised that you were going to provide adequate security in collaboration with security agencies. So other security agencies. So how many policemen were attached to polling units? How many, maybe NSCDC officials? Just how well protected were polling units during that election?
Actually, we were very lucky that the election of that day just covered a very small area. We have enough policemen on the ground. We have minimum of 3 policemen per polling unit. And, the policemen at the polling unit, they are not supposed to carry weapons. So what we did in collaboration with other security agencies that came forward to assist us, what we did was to deploy those policemen at each polling unit, minimum of 3, some places 4. And I have men that were going around on patrol. I have men that were on standby. The fact is that if the place was not adequately policed that day, we wouldn't have been able to apprehend those people. And this person that pulled the trigger, actually, we thought he was a victim when he was being beaten to a pulp. For his own security, we got him and rescued him from the mob, only for him to come back with the pump and action and started shooting.
Okay, it's quite interesting. I mean, painting that account. Now, questions arise how this built up. We remember that there was a signing of a peace accord. So for a lot of people, they thought everything is done and dusted with this election. We will not see any form of violence. But it would appear that in the build-up to the election, the previous day, there were reports of one of the candidates being attacked or his home being attacked. So did you have some of these, little pockets of incidents that pointed to the possibility of election disruption on the D-Day?
There was no clue before the election. Actually, before the election, we had meeting with stakeholders at INEC office with the INEC commissioner in attendance. And we discussed at length with all the party agents that came, and we pleaded for them to allow us to conduct this election in a free and fair atmosphere. We did this one, and nobody thought that that place, or something like that, will happen. The election was almost concluded. What went to this person's head, nobody knows. Nobody can really predict that such a thing will happen. Because when people were voting, nothing. People were voting. It was when it was about to be rounded up. And if this guy, I was told before that incident, he went to that place and slapped a woman. That was when they wanted to beat him. That was when they wanted to lynch him. And the attention of the police were brought to that scene. And we went there to get him, to rescue him from the mass, from the public, only for him to turn back and cause that casualty.
Okay, Commissioner, rather, just a moment. We've been joined by Senator Abiodun Olujimi, who is a member representing Ekiti South constituency on the program this morning. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on Sunrise Daily. I mean, we've seen your account of what happened, and I mean, witnessing that must have caused quite a toll. I mean, you were visibly shaken. So first, experiencing that, what exactly did it do to you?
Thank you very much for having me. It's traumatic. I'm just getting to relieve it and to really look at another side of politicking. But before I start, I must commend the Commissioner of Police. But for him, we won't be where we are. In fact, I didn't think I needed security that morning. I thought it was a simple election and it was from the same community, my community. And I felt we understood each other. But he called me in the morning and said, I don't know, I think you need a little bit of buffer. And he sent policemen to support me at home. It would have been worse than this. I've never seen bodies on the floor like I did on that day. But I had to stand because everybody ran away. And I was left alone with only one person to support me.
Now, the question for some people is, were the stakes really that high for people to engage in such extremities, really? So what were the stakes, really? And what would push anyone, politician or otherwise, to go that length?
The stakes were not high. And it's just one seat out of 26. 25 already secured. So there was no reason at all for that. Other than that, there were political permutations. Don't forget that our gubernatorial election will come soon. And people needed to prove that they were in charge of their areas. If not, there was no reason at all. Because they didn't go, the ballot boxes had been snatched at some other units before coming to mine. Oh, I believe when they got to mine, the crowd was too much. Naturally, I have one of the heaviest polling units, and the youths usually gather there. And so it became a big problem for them. I don't know the calculations, but it was really a goal. There was no reason at all. And more than anything else, I am a sitting senator. There was the need to also allow me to at least man my unit, but they thought they needed that unit more than anything else. If not, there was no reason at all. No reason at all for it.
Well, Senator, it raises the conversations about electoral violence to an all-new level altogether, wouldn't you say?
Oh, of course, yes. Like I told the good people who called me yesterday, we need to have a conversation around that. We're such a homogeneous community. The community where the election was taking place is such that we are all one family. The people that are there are part of it. The ones in APC and the ones in PDP are from my family. Why will we kill each other? We have to have a conversation, especially in Ekiti, on electoral violence. It has to stop. And to stop it, I believe one of the things we must do is to criminalize the issue of guns on days of election. Anyone that brings in gun must be shot at sight. And we must allow policemen, maybe one, to carry a gun or something, because all they wanted was to carry the ballot box. But because it was impossible to do, that was why the random shooting took place. And anyone that carries ballot boxes must be dealt with decisively on the spot.
Well, Senator,
I believe there are so many things we need to do.
Yeah, well, you are very correct on that in saying that there are so many things that we need to do, because it's not the first time we're talking about this, and so many suggestions have been made. Well, gratifying to know that you are a sitting senator. What then should be done now? The next general election is less than 2 years away.
Well, we thank God that the Electoral Act is still work in process, work in progress. We must look at it again. Election violence will be taken to an all-time high the next time around if we're not careful. Where did these men come from? Why were they bearing guns? I saw a Beretta. I hadn't seen it in a long while. I saw a pump action. I saw several pump actions. The real policemen were not carrying guns. How did they come about the guns? Someone must tell us. The police must be able to unravel it. They must tell us who brought them. How did they get there? Why were they bearing guns and ammunition? Because there was even a woman amongst them. I am asking the police to please unravel it, because this cannot be pushed under the truck any longer. Well, we have seen this face to face.
Well, Senator, good to know that we have the Commissioner of Police also with us on the program. So let's just put this question to him. Now, Commissioner, this case will perhaps be a litmus test, will be a test case really, to see how well the police will handle this electoral violence case, such that it serves as a deterrence in future. So you say that they will be charged, they will be arraigned in court, but I mean, we've seen this happen time and again, and there seems to be no closure. The cases just die down. So what will be different with this one, and what should we be expecting?
Yes, thank you very much. I'm so happy now that to inform you that Senator Olujimi and His Excellency, the governor here, the two of them are really supportive, and they are interested in knowing the perpetrators and how it started. So the two of them has given me their words that any area I want them to cooperate with me, they are ready to cooperate with me. And like I've said, we have just started. The main actors have been arrested, but I won't stop at that. When I get to the office this morning, I will start in earnest to know the people that send them and to get the root of the matter. I will do that one, I can promise you.
Well, Commissioner Tunde Mobaya, this is a case we're definitely going to keep our eyes on, but we'd like to thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us on the program, and we wish you the very best, as well as Senator Abiodun Olujimi, Senator representing Ekiti South constituency. We thank you so much for your time as well, and wish you the very best.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that's that on that topic, but we have something more for you. Still on security, this story made the headlines over the weekend and it's still causing ripples, but that will be after this break. Please stay with us.